So you've been cheating on me.
Wait, what?
Last thing I want to be with is a cheater. No thanks.
So the news is well and truly out that Jasmine is having a baby with her, gym buddy, Matt. But she maintains that she's never cheated on Gino. She was trying to save their marriage, she claims. She was thinking of Gino all along.
I just wanted to save my marriage. I like romance. I want to have a lover and I want this from him. I don't want to look to another person, but he's not giving it to me.
Now, by this point, I think we can all agree that Gino has definitely played a large role in the destruction of his own marriage. Like, despite her questionable choices, Jasmine does or did really love Gino. Like, she was attracted to him. She catered to him in a way that most women wouldn't or really shouldn't.
I need my big toes licked and my feet and in between my toes.
Just wash them so she doesn't think it tastes like.
Well, she likes it dirty.
Okay.
Oh.
Now, as the cast head to a bar, Gino admits that for the last few days, Jasmine's behaviour has been perfect. She's been the kind, softly spoken, non-argumentative version of herself that he's been craving all along. And if she can maintain this, I think we can fix our marriage, he says. But even so, despite her checking all of his criteria, Gino is still withholding sex. The best she can get is eating my toe jam, he says. Like, yuck. In most normal circumstances, you'd hardly say that that was a treat. But when it comes to Jasmine, maybe it is. Like, she's actually revealed that one of her pregnancy cravings is Gino's toe cheese. Like, excuse me while I gag. Look, what I don't get is even though Gino is clearly punching above his weight, even though he's got this objectively beautiful lady who's attracted to him and his toes, he not only refuses to give her what she desperately craves, like what most men would give her, sex, but more than that, he's not ready to budge even a little bit. He's not ready to even give her so much as a kiss. So is it any surprise at all that Jasmine has reached her limit? Is it any surprise that yet again she brings up the topic of having an open marriage?
Having an open marriage goes against everything that I ever believed and wanted for me as a married woman. But I still want to try everything.
Look, don't get me wrong, it would be very, very easy to point a finger at Jasmine and say, boo, Jasmine, she's a hoe. I get it. I understand why online many people think like that, right? Many people think that Jasmine has just used Gino to get a green card. Could that theory ring true? Well, yes, of course it could. But there is a part of me, right? There is a part of me that believes her when she says she thinks an open relationship will save her marriage. In her mind, it makes sense. She can get the goods elsewhere and she can come back to the man she loves. Only the problem is, as the therapist explained to her, for that to be ethical, it needs to be consensual. So Jasmine goes to work trying to win Gino's consent.
It is called an ethical, non-monogamous marriage.
Ethical?
Ethical.
I wouldn't say it's ethical. Okay.
Yeah, as expected, as is said numerous times before, Gino is absolutely not on board. He doesn't want a non-monogamous marriage, ethical, questionable, or otherwise. But the problem is, although it's not an option for him, Jasmine sees no other option. Having gone through 9 months of zero affection or intimacy from her own husband and also having no agreement on when this treatment will end, she's done. She can't take this anymore and she wants to move forward instead of being stuck in this stalemate.
Okay, one option would be you are intimate with me, or you and I sit and come to an agreement.
Those, says Jasmine, are our only 2 options. But she's not correct, is she? There is a third option, divorce. Like, what else can she do at this point? Like, if Gino isn't willing to give it to her, and if he's not willing to let her have an ethical other guy give it to her, then she can't put up with this. She can't live in a miserable marriage for the rest of her life. here she is, right? It's not ideal by any means, but here she is trying to come up with solutions and options, trying to have a calm, open conversation, pleading to her husband, letting him know just how serious this is. And yet, look at Gino. He isn't interested. He doesn't want to do anything that isn't 100% his own way.
I mean, I was pretty clear about the open marriage and, that's not me.
So that's gonna give us the option that you're gonna be intimate with me during the time we're here.
Mm-mm.
Gino really is as stubborn as they come, isn't he? It's like talking to a brick wall. I mean, he's literally admitted, right, that Jasmine has changed her personality and is giving him what he wants. And yet, rather than compromise, rather than give her what she's desperately craving, all he's willing to give is his dirty, cheesy toes. Like, you just want to shake the man and say, stop being so stubborn. So why is he being like this? Well, don't forget what Julia told us, right? Julia told us that Gino admitted to Brandon that regardless of Jasmine's behaviour, right, he doesn't ever want to have sex with her anymore. He's not physically attracted to her anymore. But if that's the case, then why doesn't he let her go? Well, it's starting to really look like he doesn't want Jasmine, but he doesn't want anyone else to have her either.
Why you don't just accept, that you will never be intimate with me, and you're such a selfish person that you don't want me to be with anyone either?
Now, it's at this point that Gino begins to dig a little bit deeper into what exactly ethical non-monogamy in Jasmine's mind would entail. Do you have someone in mind for this open marriage? He asks, and you've got to wonder, is that a question that's been keeping him up at night?
You're the one going out without telling me where you're going and staying at whoever's house you're staying at. Do you have someone in mind that you want to have an open marriage with?
Yes.
She must have had an emotional connection prior to coming to therapy with this guy.
Now, up until this point, I had some sympathy for Jasmine, a limited amount, but I could understand where she was coming from. But it's at this point here that I think she's absolutely crossed the line. By teeing someone up and having someone in place ready to have sex with her, someone she's discussed it with before she's even discussed it with her husband, by the way, is absolutely crossing the boundary and disrespectful to Gino. Like, how can he ever trust her again after that? That is, to all intents and purposes, cheating, emotional cheating. She's met a random guy at the gym, got on with him, right, and spoken to him about her because her husband doesn't. Sure, if we believe her version of events, she might not have physically cheated yet, but she's at the very least disrespected her husband and her marriage.
So you've been cheating on me.
Wait, what?
Last thing I want to be with is a cheater. No thanks.
Jasmine maintains that she hasn't physically cheated, but yes, she has had conversations with Matt about him. Now, the truth is, while it may have been Gino's behaviour that twisted Jasmine's arm into wanting an open relationship in the first place, going about it in this fashion, right, building a sexual bond with another man behind your husband's back isn't acceptable. It's not. And that's why this hurts Gino so much. It is cheating. He has been betrayed.
The friend from the gym?
Yes.
Ah, that's why you've been spending several hours a day at the gym all the time. What are you doing there?
Working out.
Working out, flirting, and talking about having sex with each other. Yeah, sorry, but that is not just friends. And you know what else isn't just friends? Having a baby with the guy. It's crazy. Like, even now, even to this day, Jasmine still refers to Matt as a friend. Look at her IG content. You're the most genuine, unconditional friend I've ever had, she says, taking swipes at Gino. Is it any wonder that Gino has reached his hard limit? You're a cheater, he says, and you and I are done.
So you have a boyfriend and you're cheating on me?
I don't have a boyfriend.
Yeah, you do. That's cheating. That's cheating. And I don't want a cheater in my life. So we're not going to work out.
Now, Jasmine is adamant that she hasn't cheated, or at least she hasn't physically cheated, but she seems incapable of understanding that betraying her husband's trust like that, lining up another man that you've been flirting with for weeks to have sex with you, is a complete breakdown in this marriage. There's no coming back from this. There's no rebuilding trust at this point. She may as well have had sex with Matt. I knew it, says Gino. I knew. I was suspicious. I thought that there was something going on. And maybe that suspicion, that lingering thought playing in his mind that his wife has been unfaithful might explain why he's been so reluctant to be intimate with her. But either way, this has now extended beyond just a reluctance to be intimate. This now spells the end of their marriage.
I haven't cheated, and that's why
No,
I'm
it's not
here.
an excuse for cheating. You are a cheater,
I'm
yes.
a cheater.
You enjoy
Okay.
your life.
Okay, perfect.
Have a good one.
Okay.
Bye.
So that's that then. These two have now split up, or at least in real time they're definitely split up. What remains unclear is whether this is the official end or whether they try and work through this in therapy in the next episode or something. Either way, if they do, well, we know that it's unsuccessful. But there are a lot of things that we don't yet know. I'm praying that we get some answers in the tell-all. Like, was having a kid with Matt planned? Like, don't forget, she told Gino that she didn't want any more kids. Did she leave Gino and get pregnant on purpose, almost as a final slap in his face? or was it a byproduct of finally getting the sex that she's been waiting for so long? Whatever the truth, after that conversation, Jasmine heads outside to cry, and this really feels like a throwback to the old days.
I just wanted to save my marriage. I like romance. I want to have a lover and I want this from him. I don't want to look to another person, but he's not giving it to me.
There she is. That's the old Jasmine that we haven't seen in quite a while, isn't it? But even still, even though her marriage has literally just disintegrated before her eyes, Jasmine is still managing to hold it together better than she ever would have done in the past, isn't she? For as flawed as she is, and she is very, very deeply flawed, Jasmine has changed and grown before our very eyes. She is a different lady today than the lady that we first met. And look, for one, I'm gonna be sad to no longer cover Gino and Jasmine. They've been one of my favourite couples to cover. It really does feel like the end of an era. But the fact is, they do both deserve to be happy. Happy separately, and happy without having to eat Gino's cheesy toes ever again.